What's happening, everybody, and welcome to today's edition of SWAC Talk, the show we cover the SWAC inside and out. I'm your host, Charles Wells, coming at you. And I thought I'd do something a little different this time. I'm going to start a little series that I'm calling the SWAC Talk Time Machine. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and take a look at, if possible, any SWAC championship games that I can watch. The ones that I can't watch, I'm gonna just kind of review them and talk about them as much as I can. Just a little project that I want to start now to stretch into the off season because I do like to do little projects in the off season to kind of keep myself going, keep my skills sharp. Just for previous reference, I did top 25 games of the 2019 season. You can check that out on my archives, anchor.fm/SWACtalk. And I also did like an all 2010s team. That's our podcast show also that you can check out also on anchor.fm/SWACtalk. And all my shows are in the archive at that spot. Podcasts can also be found on Spotify, Stitcher, Breaker, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. Facebook page, facebook.com/SWACtalk, twitter.com/SWACtalk76, instagram.com/SWACtalk. All those joints are down in the description below. All them links is there, so you can check them out at your leisure. Um, like like this video, share it, subscribe to the page, and hit that notification bell so you can be alerted to any content that I drop so you don't want to really miss these episodes that I drop. It's gonna be just something not really that serious. I just want to kind of mess around and do this. So I started this with the 2006 SWAC Championship game. I was thinking about starting it with the 1999 SWAC Championship game, which was the OG SWAC Championship game between Jackson State and Southern. But I felt like I wanted to kind of stay relevant to what's going on, so I picked the first championship that Alabama A&M won, or the only one that they won, and then I'm gonna watch next week the only championship game that Pine Bluff won in 2012. So, and then I'm gonna go back and watch like 99, 2001, whatever else is up on YouTube. I got a lot of these videos. Special shout out to Alex Hines. He has a YouTube channel that he has like mad HBCU sports videos, basketball, football, you name it, swag MEAC, CIAA, SIAC, you name it, he got it, man. So this is obviously not a paid plug or nothing like that, but I just wanted to show love because I watch his videos all the time that he upload, and I was able to find this game first. So, and man, I picked a game that was, yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna keep it real, man. This game was not that interesting. I got a little sleepy during it because I don't really remember the 2006 season. Um, Sometimes when Southern don't have a good season, I kind of tune out a little bit, unfortunately. But this year was weird when I looked at the standings because most teams were like 6-5 and 5-6, and the two division winners were 8-3. So it wasn't really a great year in the SWAC. It was kind of an even year. This was around the time that they started the 9-game mandate where everybody had to play everybody in conference. And I do kind of feel like that diluted the league a little bit and kind of took the edge off of it. And now that they're back to, 8 games and majority non-conference games, I think you can see the competitive balance starting to re-emerge. So this was a game, like I said, it wasn't that exciting. I wanted to really sit down and watch and come at you with mad notes and everything, but not really a lot to take from this game because Pine Bluff didn't really do much. The starting quarterback had got in a fight against Texas Southern at the end of the season in the last game, so he was suspended for the first half of the game. And the backup came in and he played okay, at the start. Jonathan Moore was his name. He was the backup quarterback. Chris Wallace, not Notorious B.I.G. Chris Wallace, but Chris Wallace, UAPB, QB. He was suspended for the first half. Jonathan Moore came in and was like 3 of 8 for 62 yards. He did have a 44-yard touchdown pass. Wallace came in the second half. He was 6 of 12 for 45 yards, one touchdown and two interceptions. Pine Bluff ran the ball for 15 yards total. They had 122 yards of total offense. So A&M's defense was really, really stout at this time. if you're kind of new to the SWAC and you see what A&M is doing in football right now with their high flying offense and iffy defense, they were under Coach Anthony Jones. They were more of a run first team and played good defense, good good solid defense and run the ball. Kelsey Luke was the starting quarterback. He was 6 of 23 for 125 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. His brother Nick Luke was one of the running backs at A&M. He was 15 carries, 74 yards, averaged 4.9 yards a carry. Tamar Scott, 12 carries, 58 yards, 4.8 yards per carry, and 2 touchdowns. Those were basically the two top rushers for the Bulldogs. Kevin Francis, 4 catches for 50 yards for A&M. Jason Jones had a good game for Pine Bluff, 4 catches, 66 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Not like I said, not a lot of offense in this game. A&M had gotten the red zone a couple times and they ended up kicking field goals. And like I said, Pine Bluff they just could never get anything going at all. On in the air or on the ground. They had the ball not long. Pine Bluff didn't control the ball much. A&M ran the ball pretty steadily. Uh, Kelsey Luke went out with an injury. Their backup came in and they just continued to run the football. And they finished their season at 9-3, 7-3 in the conference. Pine Bluff finished at 8-4, 7-3 in the conference. And this was just one of those games where at this point everybody was playing everybody, so you was guaranteed a rematch. Pine Bluff won that first game, and this was obviously the rematch that A&M won, and it just really didn't grab me. Like, there's a whole lot more exciting games that are SWAC championship games. Although a lot of games tend to be more of this kind of, kind of not a letdown, but not like super high energy, super high scoring. This was like the third lowest scoring game in SWAC championship game history. The lowest was an 11-6 game between Texas Southern and Alabama State in 2010. So this was just not that exciting of a game, but A&M did get their first victory in the SWAC championship game, which was definitely a big boost for them because they had been making it pretty steadily every year. Or close to every year they were going to the SWAC championship game, but they kept running into Grambling and losing. So they finally were able to get over the hump. Pine Bluff would not get back to this spot until 2012. So they had another 6 year gap in between championships. So they, like Pine Bluff goes every so often, and this was their first time. The next time they would go was in 2012, and just like in 2012, after they went the next season, they went downhill. They won like 4 games the next year, and after they went in 2012, that's when they started their decline before they started their rise again. So I'm not saying that that's going to happen in the fall, but don't be surprised if Pine Bluff don't reach that pinnacle again because they kind of have a problem with consistency as a program. But I just like I said, this is just something I wanted to do. I'm not going to really do these videos too long because I don't want to spend a lot of time on old games. But it was fun to sit back and watch the game and see how much SWAC football has changed. I mean, A&M was still running a lot of I formation, 2 receivers, sometimes 3, but nothing really that explosive. Pine Bluff threw the ball a little bit more, but they still did want to focus on the running attack because Pine Bluff has always been a running team for the bulk of the time that I've watched them, and that didn't change in this game. But it was a hard hitting game. A&M really brought the leather on defense, and anytime you can hold somebody 122 yards, especially a team that's a division champ, then you played lights out. I think in hindsight, and the announcers even said it on the game that maybe Pine Bluff should have stuck with the backup. I know you can't really bench a guy, even though he benched himself for a half. You really want to get him in there, but they had a little bit of continuity with the backup. Who knows, how that would have went in the second half, but that's like I said, that's hindsight. They may not have been able to do much because they just never really they had one drive, like one consistent drive all game, and that was the last time they had the ball with like a couple minutes to go. They drove down the field and scored. But other than that, they didn't do anything. They had one 44-yard touchdown pass, and that was it. And it just was like, it was just a game. It wasn't really like an enthusiastic game. Although I know it was a really big pressure off A&M because it seemed like they never was gonna win one. So they did, and now they're finally back. And now that they're back, the team they're facing is the team that they played to win their first championship. So I'm gonna sit back next week and watch the 2012 SWAC Championship game between Jackson State and Pine Bluff. And then from there, like I said, I'm just gonna kind of pick games at my choosing. I most likely, once I do these two games, I probably will start with the '99 championship game because that's like the OG game. And I got to show it some love because that was a tremendous game, and I enjoyed it. I was there personally to witness this game. It was just a tremendous game. Came down to the end, and it kind of set the bar really high for what you want the SWAC championship to be. One key thing I want to throw out before I go, SWAC championship game since 2019, since 1999, the West is 14-7 against the East. So the West has pretty much been dominant. Every team in the West has gone to the SWAC championship. Everybody in the East except for Valley has gone. So almost, almost, almost everybody has been represented at least once. The one time Texas Southern went, they had to vacate because they did a hell of a lot of cheating that year. And to avoid the death penalty, they took sanctions and vacated wins from like 2006 to 2011. And so that was stricken away. So Prairie View has went once and they won that one. Pine Bluff has went twice and this is their third visit. So everybody's had a turn, but in the West, it's been Grambling and Southern pretty much all the time, mainly Grambling and Southern, following that. Jackson and Alabama A&M, well, Jackson, Alabama A&M, Alcorn, especially recently, Alcorn has had the bulk of the visits, and Alabama State has been a couple times. So it's a good game. When you can catch a good exciting matchup, and sometimes the rematches are better than the first game. Sometimes they're worse, but it's something to take a look at. Now this is something I'm going to enjoy doing. I love to sit back and watch old games, so this is something I'm gonna enjoy doing. And we'll be back on Thursday with our preview of our game of the week. I haven't decided which game that's gonna be, but most likely to be Prairie View and Jackson. But I don't know for sure. I'm gonna have to sit down and look and think it over. But we'll be back with our game of the week preview on Thursday on YouTube. Wednesday the week 9 previews. Sunday week 9 recaps, and Sunday on YouTube the game of the week recap. So without further ado, man, I'm about to bounce up out of here, man. I just want to hop on and do this and get this started. I hope y'all enjoy this journey with me. And I thank everybody for supporting me and continuing to support the channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, man, go ahead and subscribe. I do this here. This is my thing. So I'm up out of here. I'ma holler at y'all later.